Hey there. It's funny. Sometimes the biggest, most fascinating stories are hiding in the most ordinary places. We're about to uncover one of those by looking at a word so common you've probably used it a dozen times today without even thinking about it. So, the word we're going to look at today, it's year. And we're looking at its entry on the Simple English Wiktionary, which is a version of the site that's all about being clear and easy to understand. Seems pretty simple, right? A word we all know, a concept we all live by. But that's the big question, isn't it? What secrets could a word this simple possibly be holding? Well, it turns out there's a pretty amazing story buried right here on this page, hiding in plain sight. All right, so to get to that story, we've got to start with the basics. Let's kind of break down what we think we know about the word year. Okay, so the Simple English Wiktionary gives us this really clean, direct definition. A year is the time it takes for the Earth to circle the sun, or, any 12-month period. No confusing words, just the main idea. But that right there, that simplicity, that's actually our first big clue. And you can see how that main idea is built from even smaller pieces. 1 year has 12 months, about 365 days, or 366 if it's a leap year. It all seems super neat and tidy, but this is just the surface. So let's dig a little deeper and see how all this simplicity actually points to something way bigger. It's time to look a little closer at what we've been given. At the heart of it all is this number, 365. That's the number we all connect with a year, right? A piece of info that everyone, everywhere, just gets. But here's the thing. It's not the most important number on this page. Not by a long shot. Because if you look really closely at the page, there's this one little line, super easy to miss, but it completely changes how we think about why this word is defined so simply in the first place. Okay, and this is the turning point. This is where a boring old dictionary entry suddenly becomes a doorway to this huge idea about language itself. And there it is, right there at the top. Year is on the basic English 850 list. It's not part of the definition or anything. It's just a label. And it immediately makes you wonder, right? Yeah, exactly. What in the world is the basic English 850 list? That is the secret our simple little word has been hiding all along. So answering that question, it takes us from just one word to the story of an entire language system. Let's dive in and find out what that is. So the key here is this number, 850. And trust me, that is not a random number. It represents a very specific, very carefully picked collection of words. So, basic English is what you'd call a controlled language, basically a super simplified version of English that's built on a core vocabulary of just 850 words. The whole point was to create an easy-to-learn language for people all over the world, and our word, year, is one of its fundamental building blocks. And the thinking behind this list is pretty smart, actually. It's designed to give you just enough words to talk about everyday life and ideas, clearly. It's all about being simple, direct, and surprisingly powerful. And it focuses on those really fundamental words, like year, because those are the ideas we all share, no matter what language we speak. And this really gets to the core of why this whole system was even created. I mean, it wasn't just some academic exercise. It was a tool with this massive global ambition. The goal was pretty straightforward, to create a simple, auxiliary language for anyone in the world to use. It was all about tearing down barriers and making communication something everyone could access. And get this, check out this number, 101. That's how many different languages the Wiktionary page for year is available in. And that is definitely not a coincidence. It just goes to show you the huge global need for a shared understanding of these basic ideas. And that's really why this all matters so much. A word like year, once it's part of a system like basic English, stops being just a word. It becomes a tool. It becomes this common ground, a bridge that helps connect totally different languages and cultures. All right, so let's wrap this up and think about what we've just uncovered, all starting from one single, simple word. I mean, think about that journey for a second. We started with year, a word we thought we knew inside and out. But by following that one tiny clue, that mention of the basic English 850 list, we stumbled upon an entire system designed for global communication. It just proves that there's real depth, hidden in simplicity. So, that leaves me with one final thought for you to chew on. After seeing the incredible story hidden inside the word year, what do you think is the most powerful, simple word out there? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.